Yo, so what is good, everybody on YouTube? We are back today with a brand new video. In today's video, we're doing a Chicago Bulls rebuilding challenge, boys. They definitely got themselves a new good head coach in Billy Donovan, and I'm very excited to see where this team can potentially go in the next couple years. Of course, an absolute bucket getter in Zach LaVine. I really like Kobe White a lot with the tremendous scoring ability that he has. A nice draft pick there in Patrick Williams, who has absolute lockdown defense. And this is definitely an interesting team for us going forward. Some decent pieces for sure. We'll see how Wendell Carter and Laurie end up playing out, and ultimately see if we can get this team a championship within this sim. Year one, we're going to leave the team kind of the same, and we're going to work with it in the offseason to mend it how we're going to. Of course, as always, smash that like button and sub if you are new. Year one, Luka Doncic ends up getting MVP. Do we have any Bulls on any of the All-NBA teams? And surprisingly, I'm not seeing anything. So let's check out these standings and see what we got going on. Not a great first season here with only 27 wins on the season, but honestly, I'm not going to complain about that. Let's check out these player stats. Zach LaVine putting up 23.7 points per game. Another 14 from Laurie Markkanen. 13.4 for Kobe White. Coming in as the number 3 scorer on the team. Not too bad. In the championship here, we got a repeat of last year. Lakers and the Heat, and yet again, LeBron takes down Jimmy Butler and Miami. So here we go, getting into the real good part of this. We can start making our moves. Hopping into the draft lottery, we end up with pick 6. Not necessarily where we're hoping to get with all those L's, but we will take it. So let's hop into this draft and see just what player we can get to make this Bulls squad better. Obviously simulating up to pick 6, and let's see who's still on the board, boys. So I see Jonathan Kuminga, not a bad option. But with Jalen Johnson still sitting there in these sims, he sometimes becomes something insane. So I'm definitely going to take the flyer on him at pick 6. Looking at what we got here, I'm not going to bring back Tomas Satoransky on that contract. 1 year, 10 mil, no thank you. And I'm not bringing back Thad Young for 14 mil in a year. So we're going to just keep it working here and see what we could do. I think I could get some more value in free agency than going with either of those deals. Of course, I am going to go ahead and bring back Laurie Markkanen. Maybe he'll eventually be a trade piece, because I know that in 2K, it's pretty classic for Laurie not to be all that good. And we're going to have to see what ends up happening with him in all honesty. So looking through here, we kind of missed out on some of the bigger name free agents, and we have the opportunity to pretty much go and get either RJ Barrett or Michael Porter Jr. And I know that the trade value in both of them is pretty good, so if I bring them in, maybe I could eventually flip them if need be. So I'm going to actually go with Michael Porter Jr. over RJ. I feel like his trade value is a little bit higher at the moment. No knock on RJ, but that's just what we're going to have to do for kind of the rebuild. Like I said, we missed out on a lot of guys. I would like to bring in Jarrett Allen, but unfortunately, his offer that we gave him got matched. So we got to move on to the next guy. We have Duncan Robinson, and we could see maybe Boogie for a comeback. Not crazy about either of the signings, but this team does need a little bit of shooting, so Duncan Robinson wouldn't be an awful one to bring in. And we do end up grabbing Boogie as our backup big man, which is okay. Not a huge deal there, nothing too special. Bringing back Tomas Satoransky for about 4.5K less than what he would have wanted, and a cheaper deal for Otto Porter as well. We will take both of those. And of course, I can always move these guys at the beginning of the season here. So you kind of see what everything's looking like here. Not too bad of a team after the beginning of our free agency. We'll bring in some minimum guys like Wesley Matthews, who can make some type of contribution at least. You see Zach LaVine, Michael Porter Jr., Wendell Carter, Laurie Markkanen, Kobe White, Boogie chilling at an 80 overall, Patrick Williams 79, Chandler Hutchinson 77, and a few guys towards the bottom regressing, but no big deal at the end of the day there. You see what our rotations are looking like, and let's see if maybe we'll make a move or two before the season starts. Testing the waters. So Chandler Hutchinson unfortunately does not fit in with our timeline here, so we are going to go ahead and actually move on from him in a deal where we get some more shooting off the bench in Josh Hart. Let's see what else we got here that maybe we need to move around. I would entertain moving Otto Porter now that we were able to grab Josh Hart. Of course, good 3-and-D guy in Otto Porter, but I don't want to have a log jam at small forward. And that's a deal that looks great to me. Getting an even better backup center there in Clint Capella that can kind of split minutes potentially. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And with that being said, we can move on from Boogie, and in doing so, it looks like we're able to bundle him and Josh Hart to get ourselves Bradley Beal. So we definitely helped out this team a lot way improving our bench. Clint Capella, Buddy Hield, Patrick Williams, Tomas Satoransky, and Jalen Johnson with a very good starting five here, man. So no complaints from me at all. And I think this team has enough to get busy this season. So let's get into it. 3.5 star system proficiency. Steph Curry getting MVP here. Anthony Davis getting Defensive Player of the Year. Most improved going to Troy Brown Jr. And let's see where our Bulls ended up finishing. A hugely improved season, 52-30. Third seed in the Eastern Conference. We'll take that. Zach LaVine just over 20 points per game. And coming in right behind him, a vastly improved Kobe White up to an 84 overall already, dropping 16.6 a game, doing his thing as our lead point guard. And then everybody else kind of logjam of about 12, 11, 10 points a game. But man, I'm not going to complain with any of these numbers to say the very least. So I'm pretty happy. So our first round matchup is going to be an interesting one to say the very least. You can see what our rotations are looking like. I really enjoy this team a lot, man. I think this team's a contender maybe this year, and if not, definitely next year. 3.5 star system proficiency still. That first round matchup up against the Miami Heat here. Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, Precious Achiuwa, Bam Adebayo, not bad at all. Julius Randle and Lou Will off the bench. And we're going to a Game 7 with them here in the first round, which is a good sign because this is a tough team that was just in the NBA championship. And after a back and forth one, we end up losing our Game 7 by 5 points, with Zach LaVine dropping 20 points in that loss. You hate to see it, honestly, but it is what it is. Mavs and Celtics here in the finals. And to take a look at these teams, you see the Celtics, pretty good looking team there in all honesty, but I do think this Mavericks team slightly has the edge as they have some absolute buckets there, with Luka officially running the point for them here. So let's see how this one ends up going. And going to Game 7, and wow, the Celtics end up taking it. Jason Tatum stepping up big time for the C's there, moving us into another year here. And as you can see, we made a huge move here. I traded Laurie, a first round, and Clint Capella, and a second round pick to bring in Pascal Siakam to hold down that 4 for us. So you got Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Pascal Siakam, and Wendell Carter Jr. I'm looking to move Chris Dunn and Tomas Satoransky if I can. Seeing some decent trades here. Nothing I'm loving so far. Jabari Smith maybe. He was only the 21st pick, so I'm not sure about how much better he'll get in all honesty. Let's check out what else we got here. So Duncan Robinson and Trey Jones, I will go ahead and do this one, giving us a very, very solid rotation here with a lot of shooting low-key. Look at that, man. I really like this lineup. You have so much shooting between Buddy Hield, Duncan Robinson, and honestly, just some of the other guys on the squad hanging around. So I will take it, send some of our younger guys to the G League. And it's definitely an interesting one here, boys. And we are officially at a 4-star system proficiency. No players of our team are on any of the All-NBA teams still, which is a little bit disappointing to me. Looking at the standings, we're coming in as the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference here. Boston Celtics coming in as the number 1 seed, obviously last year's NBA champions. So our goal is to take them out. And on the other side, 64 wins for that Mavericks team, obviously having a fantastic season as well. As well, just kind of scoping out some of these teams that did finish with a better regular season record than us, and that's an interesting one there with Amani Bates teaming up with both John Wall and James Harden. Looking at the player stats, Kobe White really taking the reins here, now up to an 86 overall at only 23 years old, leading the team in scoring. Zach LaVine scoring only 15 a game is definitely a little interesting and maybe confusing for me because I feel like he is just an absolute bucket, but it is what it is, and you see what we are working with here with our rotations, man. Very, very good team. And let's hop into it. As you can see, that 4-star system proficiency with the 7 seconds, of course. So let's see what we got. First round matchup here up against Obi Toppin, Jalen Green, and the New York Knicks. Of course, Mitchell Robinson and RJ Barrett as well. But we got to keep our eye on this team. Wow, Kyle Lowry and Montrezl Harrell off the bench. That's a pretty gritty team, if I could say the very least. So let's see what we could do. Hopefully we can outmatch them here because this is a tough first round matchup with all those players being combined together. And we ultimately do, taking the series in 5, which you'd love to see. 4-1, let's get it, baby. Second round here, we end up going up against the Atlanta Hawks. Definitely an interesting squad here as well. Kind of that keep that young Hawks core together minus Trigger Trey. And we are going on to the Eastern Conference Finals after a 4-0 sweep, boys. Now is prime time. We are up against last year's NBA champions, the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum led absolute bucket squad. Let's see what we can do here. And we find ourselves in a dogfight, down 3-2. Hopping into Simcast, can we push this to Game 7, back and forth all game? And we end up pulling away, 120-104. Kobe White dropping 30 in that. You love to see it. Giving us an opportunity to move back to the NBA championship here. Let's go. Let's get it. And boom, we end up clutching, coming back from being down 2 games. Another huge game there from Kobe White up against Ja Morant, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Clark, Jaren Jackson, Jalen Duren, and the Memphis Grizzlies here in the finals. I feel like that Celtics team might have been a little bit better, so it's giving me some type of comfort here, and we find ourselves down 3-2 yet again. But we do these, boys. We do come back from these. Let's see what we can do. Pushing into Game 7 with a huge performance there, and you love to see it. I almost hit play the game, but okay, let's hop into. I'll show you guys the box score first. See Kobe White dropping 27 and another 21 from Michael Porter Jr. Game 7 here, prime time. Can we show up? And it was a little bit of a flood, taking it by 20 points. Game 7, Kobe White getting Finals MVP, boys. So we did it. We rebuilt the Bulls without getting any real superstars on the team. Well, at least adding any. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to smack the like button and let me know down below who to do next. Peace.